The Black Spirit Clan, a mid-tier spirit clan now standing in the northern part of the Great Thousand Worlds Wandering Realm, traces its origins back to before the world-ending war. Around 100,000 years ago, at a time when the lower dimension worlds had yet to be ravaged by the invasions of extraterritorial tribes, countless individuals broke free from the constraints of the lower dimension worlds and entered the Great Thousand Worlds. Many of the semi-ancient powers in the Great Thousand Worlds today are descendants of these breakthrough travelers. This era, when a large number of people entered the Great Thousand Worlds from the lower dimension worlds, came to be known as the Great Dimensional Leap era. It was during this period that a man named the Black Spirit King broke through the boundaries of the lower dimension and arrived in the Great Thousand Worlds. The original strength of the Black Spirit King and the dimension he came from are now lost to history. According to ancient texts preserved within the Black Spirit Clan, when the Black Spirit King established the clan in the Great Thousand Worlds, he had already reached the level of a heavenly supreme being, whose power shook the entire realm. Some ancient rumors say that the Black Spirit King was a rather mysterious figure, and whenever asked about his origins, he would simply respond with one sentence: "I come from the lower dimension, nothing more." Though no one knew from which lower dimension the Black Spirit King originated, his strength as a heavenly supreme, combined with the birth of another heavenly supreme in his lineage and the rise of dozens of Earth Supreme experts within the clan, placed the Black Spirit Clan in a position second only to the Fire Spirit Clan and Ice Spirit Clan in the Great Thousand Worlds. At that time, the Black Spirit Clan protected the entire Wandering Realm. The establishment of the Black Spirit Clan coincided with the outbreak of the world-ending war. At that time, the extraterritorial tribes launched attacks on both the lower dimension worlds and the edges of the Great Thousand Worlds. Like most of the major powers in the Great Thousand Worlds, the Black Spirit Clan did not initially view the attacks from the extraterritorial tribes as a great threat. It wasn't until nearly half of the lower dimension worlds and a third of the Great Thousand Worlds were conquered by these tribes that the entire Great Thousand Worlds descended into chaos. All the major powers in the Great Thousand Worlds rose to resist the extraterritorial tribes. However, the Black Spirit King acted decisively, leaving behind 5 or 6 Earth Supreme experts to defend the clan, while he, along with another Heavenly Supreme from the clan, led a force of dozens of Earth Supreme experts and thousands of Supreme Stage Warriors to march toward the lower dimension worlds. After that, those left behind in the clan could only gauge the situation of the Black Spirit King and his forces based on news from the lower dimension worlds. At first, the Black Spirit Clan rejoiced as the Black Spirit King and his forces reclaimed nearly 1,000 lower dimension worlds from the extraterritorial tribes. However, as the news of the Black Spirit King dying in a mutual destruction with a mid-tier heavenly emperor from the extraterritorial evil tribes reached the Great Thousand Worlds, the entire clan nearly collapsed. In the following years, the battlefront in the Great Thousand Worlds expanded further, with even the Northern Wandering Realm and Ice Spirit Realm unable to escape. Soon, the Wandering Realm became one of the largest battlefields in the Great Thousand Worlds. By then, the Black Spirit Clan had lost all its major powers in the lower dimension worlds, and the clan was forced to appoint an elder who was only an Upper Earth Supreme as the new clan leader. This new leader, along with 5 other elders, set up a grand formation to resist the extraterritorial tribes. However, with morale shattered, the Black Spirit Clan could only hold on by relying on the overwhelming numbers of warriors and the sacrifice of Earth's Supreme Elders. By the time the world-ending war finally ended, only one of the 6 Earth Supreme experts from the clan had survived, heavily wounded. Thus, the now fallen Black Spirit Clan retreated to a core continent, fading out of the Great Thousand World sight. This, however, was all tens of thousands of years ago. Today, thousands of years later, on the last Black Spirit continent, after over 10 millennia of recovery, the Black Spirit Clan, though still far from the prosperity of its ancient days, has experienced some revival. The immense energy barrier that now covers millions of miles is a symbol of its remaining power and authority. At this moment, deep within the Black Spirit continent, in a serene place surrounded by green mountains and clear waters, a middle-aged man places a 2- or 3-year-old girl on his shoulder, letting her play as he stands still. Hei Ming, the current leader of the Black Spirit clan, did not possess the imposing kingly demeanor that many had expected. Instead, he spent his days playing with his daughter, appearing more like an ordinary father. Hei Ming was different from most others. Within the Black Spirit clan, the majority of people preferred to remain in cold, desolate places, and indeed, the clan's territory was almost entirely covered by such bleak environments. However, there was one mountain range that stood out with its green hills and clear waters, and Hei Ming hoped that his daughter could grow up in this warm environment, free from the chilling places that surrounded their clan, even though he himself had been raised in such harsh, cold conditions. In truth, the people of the Black Spirit clan, due to their bloodline, were born with a naturally cold constitution. This constitution could only be suppressed in truly frigid lands. For a child as young as 2 or 3, arriving in a non-cold environment could cause trouble. "Daddy, I'm cold." The little girl, sitting on Hei Ming's shoulder, tightly clung to his head. Although it was the peak of midday, the chilling aura emanating from her body still caused her to shiver. At the same time, a black symbol appeared on her forehead and began absorbing the cold energy seeping from her body. Such occurrences happened twice a day, once in the dead of night and once at noon. The black symbol was Hei Ming's method of dealing with this. He could not completely remove his daughter's cold constitution, not because he was unable, but because this cold constitution, passed down through generations in the Black Spirit clan, contained ancient bloodline power that represented their hope for a resurgence. "Xun'er, do you think this green mountain and clear water is better, or do you prefer the cold mountain ravines?" Hei Ming asked his daughter, who was named Hei Xun'er. Xun'er blinked in confusion. Hei Ming immediately realized that his daughter was still too young to understand the question. Whoosh! At that moment, the sound of something cutting through the air caught Hei Ming's attention. He placed his daughter down from his shoulder and looked toward the horizon. There, a figure was slowly descending. "Clan leader, someone from the outside world wishes to meet you. They will wait beyond the continent," the figure said as they landed in front of Hei Ming. "Who is it?" Hei Ming asked casually, but the following words made him pause for a moment. "They come from the lower dimension, and that's all I know," the person replied. "Interesting. How many of them are there?" Hei Ming inquired, clearly recognizing that the phrase lower dimension was deliberately imitating the speech of the Black Spirit clan's ancient ancestor, Hei Lingwang. 3. They are outside the eastern domain of the continent, the person responded. "Since one of them is a Earth Supreme, 2 of our elders have already gone ahead to the eastern domain." "Earth Supreme, huh? They must not be ordinary," Hei Ming said. "All right, you stay here and play with Xun'er. I'll go take a look." "Understood," the person replied. As their words fell, Hei Ming had already disappeared. Meanwhile, over 10,000 miles away, beyond the eastern domain of the Black Spirit continent, 3 figures stood in the sky over a vast sea. These 3 were Lin Dong, Ling Qingzhu, and Qing Tan, who had come from the martial realm. They floated quietly in the air, gazing at the massive energy shield surrounding the Black Spirit continent, seemingly waiting for something. "Brother Lin Dong, do you think they're just going to ignore us?" Qing Tan asked after a brief wait. "We've already had their guardian spirit warriors inform them. I don't think they will just ignore an Earth Supreme," Lin Dong replied. But as soon as he finished speaking, his brow furrowed. Buzz. Just then, a distortion appeared in the space near them, and 2 figures emerged from the twisted air. Both were elderly men wearing the Black Spirit clan's signature black robes. One carried a long black sword on his back, while the other had strikingly dark hair, unusual for someone of his age. The energy surrounding the 2 figures carried an extreme chill, warping the space around them. Lin Dong assessed their power and found that both had reached the Earth Supreme level. This level of strength indicated that they held significant status within the Black Spirit clan. "Are you the famed Realm Master and martial ancestor from the Wandering Realm?" asked the elder with the black sword. He was Hei Lu, the Black Spirit clan's senior external elder. "We of the Black Spirit clan will not interfere with any external conflicts. May I ask why you have come to our clan?" the elder with the black hair inquired. He was Hei Xuanzi, the Grand Elder of the Black Spirit clan. Lin Dong smiled faintly upon hearing their words, realizing that the Black Spirit Clan had likely investigated their identities. "My name is Lin Dong, and I come from the lower dimension," Lin Dong said to the two Black Spirit Clan elders. He gestured to Ling Qingzhu and Qing Tan beside him. "These are my wife and sister." "Oh? What is it?" Elder Hei Xuanzi, the Grand Elder, asked Lin Dong, his voice calm yet curious. "Our status within the clan is second only to the clan leader. You are no different from us." "Then I'll speak plainly," Lin Dong replied without hesitation. "We want to invite the Black Spirit Clan to join the martial realm." "Huh." However, as soon as Lin Dong finished speaking, Elder Hei Lu burst into laughter. "We made ourselves clear before. As for the wars outside, the Black Spirit Clan will not get involved." "What if it's a passive counterattack?" Lin Dong asked. Upon hearing this, both Hei Lu and Hei Xuanzi narrowed their eyes slightly as they glanced at Lin Dong. "What do you mean?" Hei Lu asked coldly. "Are the forces of the martial realm planning to attack the Black Spirit Clan?" Although the Black Spirit Clan is not as powerful as it was in the ancient peak days, let me tell you, to conquer the Black Spirit Clan, a mere martial realm is probably not enough. Elder Hei Lu snorted. Lin Dong shook his head. "What I mean is, other forces are running rampant outside your gates." "Oh." Upon hearing this, Hei Lu and Hei Xuanzi exchanged a glance. "It's the Titan Heavenly Domain, the Stellar Radiance Pavilion, and the Sun God Temple," Lin Dong continued. "To be precise, the territory they now occupy was once part of our martial realm, but they forcibly took it. This seems like a dispute between your external forces," Elder Hei Lu said with narrowed eyes. "As I said before, the Black Spirit Clan will not get involved." "Well then," Elder Hei Xuanzi added, raising his hand, "since you came to speak with us, I'll make it clear on behalf of the Black Spirit Clan. No matter how intense the clashes are outside, as long as they don't affect the Black Spirit continent, we won't interfere." Hearing the two elders speak, Lin Dong's companions, Ling Qingzhu and Qing Tan, sighed helplessly. They had not expected the once mighty Black Spirit Clan, which had dominated the northern part of the Great Thousand World, to have fallen so far, retreating step by step. As long as there was no existential threat, they would not retaliate, no matter how much others provoked them. If the Black Spirit King were still alive, one could only imagine how he would lament this situation. However, after thinking for a moment, Ling Qingzhu began to understand the two Black Spirit Clan elders' stance. After all, the current Black Spirit Clan was nowhere near its peak. Although it had been recovering for thousands of years, it had only regained less than a tenth of its former strength. If this fragile strength were further damaged, the Black Spirit Clan might truly collapse. Elders, from my perspective, the Black Spirit Clan will not recover if it stays in this isolated state. In fact, it may be walking down the path of extinction, Lin Dong said, his eyes narrowing slightly. "I even feel pity for the Black Spirit King." "You." Elder Hei Lu's expression darkened, his tone turning cold and firm. "Don't think that because you possess the power of an Upper Earth Supreme, you can casually provoke the Black Spirit Clan. If you want war, the Black Spirit Clan will fight you to the end." But before Hei Lu could finish his words, a voice rang out from behind them, echoing across the land. "Well, I'm quite interested in hearing how someone from the lower dimension thinks the Black Spirit Clan is living in isolation," the voice boomed clearly. The space behind them began to twist, and a figure in black stepped forward. "Clan leader." The two elders immediately greeted the figure, their expressions respectful. The man who had emerged was none other than the clan leader of the Black Spirit Clan, Hei Ming. Hei Ming, emerging from the twisted space, waved his hand at the two elders and walked toward Lin Dong. According to the ancestral teachings of the Black Spirit King, the Black Spirit Clan considers anyone who breaks through the shackles from the lower dimensions to be a guest. "Please, let us discuss your matters within our clan." "The Black Spirit Clan leader is truly courteous," Lin Dong said with a smile, sensing that Hei Ming's strength was likely at the peak of Upper Earth Supreme. He was one of the most powerful beings in the entire Wandering Realm. "Clan leader, it's been over 10,000 years since we've had outsiders enter our clan." Elder Hei Xuanzi was taken aback, surprised at Hei Ming's decision to invite Lin Dong and the others into the Black Spirit Clan. "Our ancestor, The Black Spirit King came from the lower dimension, just like them. Only those like him possessed the will and grand ambitions to rebuild the Black Spirit Clan. Now that the Black Spirit Clan has reached this state, we need to listen to their advice, Hei Ming said, then turned to Lin Dong with a gesture of invitation. He moved swiftly toward the Black Spirit Clan's territory, leading the way for Lin Dong and his companions. Lin Dong smiled slightly. No wonder this person had become the clan leader of the Black Spirit Clan. His calmness and decision-making were far superior to that of most people. Please go ahead. Hei Xuanzi and the others, with no other choice, finally invited Lin Dong and the others into the Black Spirit Clan. Next, Lin Dong and the others followed Hei Ming into the Black Spirit Clan. As they passed through the massive light barrier enveloping the entire Black Spirit Clan, a chilling atmosphere greeted them. Although it didn't affect Lin Dong, for Ling Qingzhu, who had just entered the 7th grade Supreme Realm, it prompted her to activate some of her spiritual energy to defend against it. However, there was one person who showed no concern for the cold power here. In fact, she felt a strange sense of familiarity. Big brother Lin Dong, I think I've been here before, Qing Tan said to Lin Dong. As soon as she spoke, Ling Qingzhu was slightly stunned, while Lin Dong furrowed his brows. Qing Tan had grown up with him in the heavenly mystic dimension. Even after arriving in the Great Thousand World, she had always stayed within the martial realm. How could she have been here before? Was it possible that the terrain here resembled a region from the heavenly mystic dimension? Suddenly, Lin Dong seemed to recall something. His gaze trembled, and his figure paused mid-air. Ling Qingzhu and Qing Tan, seeing this, also stopped in their tracks. Are you sure you've been here? Lin Dong asked, his brow furrowed as he looked at Qing Tan. I'm not certain, but there's something familiar about the air here, Qing Tan said, scanning the surroundings. Lin Dong extended his hand, capturing a trace of the cold energy in the air and absorbing it into his body, seemingly deep in thought. Is something wrong with the friends from the lower dimension? Seeing Lin Dong and the others stop, Hei Xuanzi and his companion also halted and turned to ask. Hearing Hei Xuanzi's question, Lin Dong, who had been lost in thought, snapped back to reality and replied, Apologies, Elder Xuanzi. I was just recalling something. Everything's fine now. Let's move on. With that, Lin Dong continued moving forward, and Ling Qingzhu and the others followed. The two elders ahead exchanged confused glances before continuing forward. However, they were unaware that Lin Dong and his companions had already begun a telepathic conversation in their minds. Did you figure something out? Ling Qingzhu asked Lin Dong through their telepathic link. Heh, did you have the same guess? Lin Dong smiled internally and replied. Big brother Lin Dong, what are you two talking about? Qing Tan interjected. Qing Tan, do you remember when we were preparing to enter the Great Thousand World from the heavenly mystic dimension, and we had no way to do so? It was only through the faint sense of external energy within your body that we found the way to the Great Thousand World, Lin Dong asked. At that time, it was almost certain that you weren't originally from the heavenly mystic dimension, but from the Great Thousand World. Yes, I remember. Qing Tan nodded. Lin Dong had indeed relied on her sense of external energy to find the path to the Great Thousand World. Then, Qing Tan asked, What's going on here? Have you ever thought about two things? First, why you ended up in the lower dimension world from the Great Thousand World. Second, where you originally belonged in the Great Thousand World. Lin Dong asked. Big brother Lin Dong. Isn't it impossible to trace that now? Qing Tan replied. In fact, she had thought about these two questions before, but later abandoned them. She felt that it didn't matter what had happened in the past, and there was no way to trace it. What mattered was the present, living well now, and taking care of the people around her. What if there was a way to trace it? Lin Dong asked. How would we trace it? Qing Tan was surprised. If there really was a way to uncover her past in the Great Thousand World, she naturally wanted to know what her previous life was like, even if it was just from an ordinary family. At least it would provide some closure. Most of what I say next is purely speculation, not necessarily true, Lin Dong said. Qing Tan blinked her big, dark eyes, eagerly awaiting his words. I think your past might have something to do with the Black Spirit Clan, Lin Dong said. Related to the Black Spirit Clan? Big brother Lin Dong this? Hearing Lin Dong's words, Qingtan found it hard to believe. Let's deduce a few things first. First, we know that those who die or fall in the Great Thousand World and then reincarnate into the lower dimensions have a very low chance of success, unless their strength reaches or is close to the Supreme Realm. Without that level of power, the soul left behind after death cannot break through the barrier that exists between dimensions. Similarly, those who die in the lower dimensions and want to reincarnate into the Great Thousand World also need to be at least close to the Supreme Realm. For example, Huan was able to enter the Great Thousand World and end up in the Ice Spirit Clan because of the power generated when her reincarnation cycle was ignited. That is to say, in her previous life, Qingtan's strength had at least reached the Three Tribulations realm, if not the Supreme Stage, said Ling Qingzhu beside her. That makes sense. Qingtan nodded, then immediately asked, so, what's the connection between this and the Black Spirit Clan? The above is just deduction. The following is purely speculation, Lin Dong said to Qingtan. I guess that in your previous life, you were a member of the Black Spirit Clan. When you were in the heavenly mystic dimension, you already had a cold, inattribute physique. The origin of this physique is unclear, but later we found out you came from the Great Thousand World. So in your previous life, you must have had the same physique in the Great Thousand World. This cold physique is different from the extreme cold of the Ice Spirit Clan. And in the Great Thousand World, only one place's people are born with such a physique. It is here, the Black Spirit Clan, Lin Dong said. Although the Black Spirit Clan is the largest group of those with the cold physique, there must be other places in the Great Thousand World with the same kind of physique, right? Qingtan asked. That's why I said it's just a guess, not necessarily true, Lin Dong replied. Moreover, if it is true, then what we need to do next may become much easier. How do we prove this? Qingtan asked again. To this, Lin Dong could only shake his head helplessly, as he too didn't know how to verify these past life causes and effects. Let's just go with the flow, Lin Dong said. Following the two elders, Hei Lu, ahead of them, Lin Dong and the others continued on their path for several more minutes until a mountain range shrouded in black, cold air appeared before their eyes. Between these mountains, there were countless man-made cave entrances, and from within, Lin Dong could sense numerous auras, some of which belonged to powerful beings at the supreme level. This living arrangement, however, resembled the uncivilized ways of ancient people. We're here, the two elders, Hei Lu, stopped, and Lin Dong and the others also looked ahead. They saw a vast black stone plaza about 100,000 miles wide. On this plaza stood dozens of towering black stone statues, each several thousand feet tall. These statues exuded an ancient and weathered aura. At the forefront of all the statues stood a gray-colored, exceptional statue. The figure depicted seemed to be only in his 30s, with a youthful appearance. He stood with his hands behind his back, gazing at the world before him. The dozens of statues behind him seemed ready to follow the youth in traversing the Great Thousand Worlds, though they had stood still for tens of thousands of years. Lin Dong knew that this person must be the Black Spirit King. Before all the massive stone statues stood the gray statue. The figure was proud and rebellious, leading the figures behind him, having carved out his own domain in the Great Thousand World. He was the Black Spirit King. Looking at the Black Spirit King statue, Lin Dong couldn't help but sigh. The affairs of the world were indeed unpredictable. The Black Spirit Clan, once a powerful force that guarded its domain, had now fallen to the point of retreating to a single continent after 10,000 years. Swish, swish, swish. Just as Lin Dong was looking at the statue of the Black Spirit King, countless sounds of breaking air rang out from the surrounding heavens and earth. Soon, tens of thousands of figures appeared around the massive plaza. Some of them emanated auras that had reached the supreme stage and beyond. To these Black Spirit Clan experts, Lin Dong was almost the only outsider the Black Spirit Clan had encountered in a century. Because of the clan's internal restrictions, they could not freely leave. So when such a rare outsider appeared, they naturally had to come and observe. I heard he's from the martial realm. With that aura, he must be at least an Earth Supreme, right? I heard that the Wandering Realm has many powerful forces, like the Sun God Temple and Stellar Radiance Pavilion. This martial realm is probably one of them, right? I wonder how their overall strength compares to ours. Even if they are stronger than our clan, we must remain patient. The Black Spirit clan will rise again someday. We must develop steadily. Our efforts now are for future generations. As more and more people appeared, whispers started to spread. Lin Dong glanced around at the increasing number of people, but his expression slightly darkened, as he couldn't shake the oppressive feeling the Black Spirit clan gave off. It seems this friend already has some thoughts. At that moment, a voice from ahead reached Lin Dong's ears. It was Hei Ming speaking. Hearing Hei Ming, Lin Dong snapped back to reality. If you were the ancestor of our clan, what would you think of the current state of the Black Spirit clan? Hei Ming slowly sat down on a stone chair at the front of the square and spoke indifferently. Meanwhile, not far away, Hei Lu and Hei Xuanzi also slowly sat down on stone chairs. Disappointed, Lin Dong replied without hesitation, offering his view. This is my opinion, but I'm not the Black Spirit King, so I don't know his view. As expected, we are also very disappointed in ourselves. Hei Ming was not surprised by Lin Dong's words, but he frowned at him. But is this what you mean by being blinded by a leaf? Yes, Lin Dong replied directly. Not only is it being blinded by a leaf, but you all seem content with the state of the Black Spirit clan. You understand patience. You understand how to create an atmosphere within the clan that one day it will surely recover. Whether this method will help the Black Spirit clan gain strength, I don't know. But I do know, after gaining such power, then what? What do you mean? Hei Ming asked, puzzled. I mean, after you gain power, then what? Lin Dong said, raising his voice deliberately. Do you think the Black Spirit King achieved such greatness purely by relying on his own strength? Lin Dong's voice, enveloped in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, became immense and echoed in everyone's ears. Brat, don't think just because you possess the strength of an Upper Earth Supreme that you can casually slander the ancestor of the Black Spirit clan. Hearing Lin Dong's words, Hei Lu, who was not far away, became enraged. He stood up, and a terrifying power that far surpassed the 9th grade Supreme swept out from his body. This power covered the entire square, causing the heavens and earth to tremble. Hei Lu pointed at Lin Dong, his face full of fury. Do you mean to say that the ancestor reached the peak of the great 1,000 worlds relying on someone else's strength? Hei Lu's aura enveloped Lin Dong and his companions. Yet, to everyone's surprise, Lin Dong smiled instead of showing fear. Hei Lu, calm down. At that moment, Hei Ming's voice rang out from the front of the square. He raised his palm, and the turbulent power of Hei Lu was immediately suppressed. Seeing Hei Ming's action, Hei Lu could only suppress his anger and slowly sat back down. Chief Hei Ming, I don't think you need to suppress Elder Hei Lu's anger, Lin Dong said, his words leaving Hei Ming baffled. What I said earlier may not have been clear. The Black Spirit King did not solely rely on his own strength to achieve what he did. It was not that he depended on someone else's power to reach that point, but he relied on something else, something that, as Chief Hei Ming said earlier, can only be seen in those of us who have broken through the shackles of our respective realms. Oh? What did he rely on? Hei Ming asked. Extraordinary perseverance and a deep bond with the heavens and earth, Lin Dong replied. We broke through the shackles from lower realms to reach the great 1,000 worlds. Before that, we were mostly unknown individuals from the lower realms, struggling through countless hardships. We sacrificed things you can't even imagine. At this point, Lin Dong's voice trailed off, his expression turning heavy. A delicate figure slowly emerged in his mind. The girl shook her head, and her 3,000 strands of hair turned an icy blue. Then, Lin Dong felt a warm hand gently grasp his, bringing him back to reality. Looking at Ling Qingzhu beside him, his heavy expression gradually returned to normal. Things we can't imagine? Hei Ming asked, his curiosity piqued. We had nothing, so we were reckless. When we finally had something, we gave our all to protect it. From the moment we started, we never considered stopping, Lin Dong said. The reason the strong are strong is not because of their immense power, but because they have the courage to fear nothing. Their eyes are not blocked by anything. The current Black Spirit clan, with its self-imposed isolation, is being blinded by a leaf. The current Black Spirit clan is seeking power, but it is hesitant. For thousands of years, it is hidden on this Black Spirit continent. That is being blinded by a leaf. The Titan Heavenly Domain dared to directly invade the borders of the Black Spirit clan because they anticipated that the Black Spirit clan would not dare to interfere. After all, this could once again strike at the fragile strength the Black Spirit clan had just begun to restore. Lin Dong's powerful words echoed across the square, and the thousands of gazes around them became stunned. No one had ever dared speak to the Black Spirit clan in such a manner. "You bastard! It seems you've made up your mind to go to war with my Black Spirit clan." Just as Hei Ming and the others were enduring, the Grand Elder Hei Lu could no longer hold back. A terrifying force erupted from his body again, and in a flash, his figure appeared directly in front of Lin Dong. His 5 fingers clenched into a fist, and that punch, containing the power of destruction, slammed toward Lin Dong, while his roar echoed across the area. "Our dignified Black Spirit clan will not tolerate being slandered like this." Heh. Seeing the destructive punch coming from Hei Lu, Lin Dong smiled faintly. He slowly raised his palm and placed it directly in front of him, as Hei Lu's punch landed on Lin Dong's palm. Boom. As their powers collided, the moment the two terrifying forces clashed, everything fell silent. Then, with a massive roar, the square within a radius of several 100,000 feet around Lin Dong collapsed, while Ling Qingzhu and Qing Tan, protected by Lin Dong, remained unharmed. Boom, boom, boom. The ground trembled violently, and large cracks spread out crazily. The sudden scene caused many figures in the surroundings to quickly retreat. A clash between two Earth Supremes was enough to erase them with a mere aftershock. As the ground collapsed, Hei Ming and the others soared into the air, but Hei Ming swiftly turned and rushed toward Lin Dong and Hei Lu, not far ahead. "Grand Elder Hei Lu, don't make this any worse." Hei Ming shouted at Hei Lu, but the next moment, he saw Lin Dong raise his hand toward him. Hei Ming, haven't you noticed? Right now, the only one in the Black Spirit clan who can be considered a normal person is Hei Lu. Lin Dong spoke to Hei Ming from a distance. "You understand the value of patience, but too much retreating. For instance, when someone stirs up trouble in the Black Spirit clan, you think about how you could step back and reconcile. But retreating too much isn't patience, it's cowardice. Let him come. There's no need to hold back." Lin Dong said indifferently, then waved his hand to gesture for Ling Qingzhu and Qing Tan to retreat. Seeing this, they quickly flew backward, leaving only Lin Dong and Hei Lu facing each other. "Hei Ming, if you want to hear an outsider's perspective on the current state of the Black Spirit clan, listen well." Lin Dong glanced at Hei Ming not far away and continued. "Child, my strength is inferior to yours, but I won't tolerate you continuing to provoke the Black Spirit clan." As Lin Dong's words reached Hei Lu's ears, his rage flared up again. His figure flashed and appeared several 100,000 feet away. His hands began forming seals, the momentum similar to preparing some kind of technique. Boom, boom, boom. As Hei Lu's hand seals shifted, everyone saw the space behind him beginning to distort on a massive scale. The distortion grew more intense, and the surrounding spiritual energy fluctuations became more violent. Moments later, a huge black spatial vortex, tens of thousands of feet in size, appeared behind Hei Lu, emanating a wave of destruction that threatened to annihilate everything. Lin Dong looked at the massive vortex behind Hei Lu. His booming voice once again echoed through the world. The Black Spirit King, like us lower-dimensional breakthrough challengers, was weak when they first arrived in the Great Thousand World. They could be as weak as the Three Heavens stage or as strong as the Supreme stage. Such power, within all the people here, has been reached by hundreds, even thousands. But you cannot understand how we use this power to walk the path of the strong. We rely on perseverance. We do not bow to the heavens and earth. Lin Dong said, slamming his palm onto the nearby void. As his palm struck down, the space turned into a resonating drum membrane, and Lin Dong's hand struck against the membrane. Boom! The sound of the sacred drum vibrated through the heavens and earth. In front of them, the enormous figure behind Hei Lu's vortex stepped forward. In that instant, the heavens and earth's spiritual energy boiled, but at the same time, everyone was shocked to see the dozens of stone statues on the square beginning to tremble. Lin Dong's voice resonated across the world. The Black Spirit Clan fears losing, so it has already lost. Boom! The massive sound of the sacred drum reverberated across the heavens and earth. Under the astonished gazes of countless onlookers, the dozens of giant black stone statues on the vast square began to move, as if they had come to life. Impossible? The Ancestor statues are actually moving. Did that guy do this? Is he trying to use the Ancestor statues as a shield? This bastard is ruthless. When the dozens of towering black stone statues, each standing several tens of thousands of feet tall, began to move, a wave of astonished gasps echoed throughout the plaza. All those standing outside the plaza could see that the statues, with their immense strides, slowly turned and faced them, as if dozens of deities from heaven and earth were looking down upon everyone present. Boom! At the same time, far beyond the plaza, in the distant sky, behind the great elder Hei Lu, a colossal spatial vortex appeared. From within the swirling vortex, an imposing figure emerged into the world. This was an enormous black figure, standing at an unfathomable height, its features hard to discern. It had 4 long arms, 2 of which were made of black bones, each holding a massive black bone spear that reached skyward. Boom! As the giant black figure appeared before everyone, the black waves radiating from it weren't the evil energy of the outer world demonic races, but instead carried an aura of invincibility, as if nothing could withstand it. This was the 24th ranked mystic physique among the 99 Dharmakayas, the 10,000 destruction mystic physique, which was also one of the 2 clan-suppressing Dharmakayas of the Black Spirit Clan. The other was the Supreme Dharmakaya, said to have been used by the Black Spirit King himself. However, since the death of the Black Spirit King, no one had qualified to cultivate that Supreme Dharmakaya. Whoosh! Atop the 10,000 destruction mystic physique's head, Hei Lu's figure emerged, and he faced off against Lin Dong, who was standing a great distance away. Meanwhile, behind Lin Dong, the dozens of massive statues had begun to move toward him. With a single command from Lin Dong, these statues would transform into warriors of heaven and earth, ready to fight. In the distance, Hei Ming and the others, watching the impending clash between Lin Dong and Hei Lu, were filled with anxiety. An elder spoke up, "Clan leader, we should stop them. If this continues..." Before the elder could finish, Hei Ming raised his hand, silencing him, and said, "Let's wait and see. Clan leader, we can't wait any longer. If this continues, the statues of our ancestors will be destroyed." Elder Hei Xuanzi exclaimed, "No one is to act." At that moment, a voice, ancient and stern, rang out in their ears. Everyone turned to see a figure wrapped in black light appear in front of Hei Ming. At the sight of this figure, not only the elders, but even Hei Ming showed signs of respect. Clearly, this person held an equal status with the clan leader within the Black Spirit Clan. "Grand Elder, you've finally emerged from seclusion," Hei Ming said respectfully. The black light surrounding the figure gradually faded, revealing a white-bearded old man. This was the Grand Elder of the Black Spirit Clan, the most senior member, who had once interacted with the last Black Spirit King. "Grand Elder, you finally..." After seeing the Grand Elder, Hei Ming immediately sensed the immense power emanating from him, far greater than his own, and said in awe, "You've reached the perfected heavenly supreme stage. These matters can wait. Right now, I will handle this," the Grand Elder said, his voice calm but firm. "Grand Elder, should we stop them?" Elder Hei Xuanzi asked. "You all step back. That young man is not someone you can stop," the Grand Elder replied. "If the situation becomes urgent, I will intervene. How could we not stop an Upper Earth Supreme?" Elder Hei Xuanzi responded, his tone filled with disbelief. Both he and Hei Lu were at the Lower Earth Supreme level, while Hei Ming, as the clan leader, had already reached the Upper Earth Supreme stage. Elder Hei Xuanzi believed that if the 3 of them worked together, they could easily subdue Lin Dong. They had refrained from confronting him directly earlier due to concerns over the potential losses to the Black Spirit clan caused by the martial realm. But now, with the Grand Elder having reached the perfected Heavenly Supreme stage, they felt more confident, as long as it didn't result in catastrophic losses to the clan. Upper Earth Supreme? Hearing Elder Hei Xuanzi's words, the Grand Elder laughed softly. Heh, do you really think he's just a lower Earth Supreme? Boom. A massive roar reverberated across the plaza as the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique crossed the sky, charging toward Lin Dong. You bastard, today, I will risk my life to make you regret humiliating the Black Spirit clan. Hei Lu shouted, standing atop the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique. He raised his hand and struck down angrily toward Lin Dong. However, just as the massive palm of the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique approached Lin Dong's body within several tens of thousands of feet, a gigantic figure descending from the sky blocked its path. This figure was one of the stone giant statues controlled by Lin Dong. The stone giant descending from the sky was several times taller than the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique. Facing the massive palm of the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique, the stone giant also struck out with a palm that was as large as the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique's chest. Bastard! Using my clan's ancestor as a shield. Seeing the stone giant's palm coming toward him, Hei Lu, who was standing atop the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique, changed his expression. However, by this time, it was too late for him to stop the attack of the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique. Boom! The palms of the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique and the stone giant collided. The former was indestructible, while the latter relied on its massive size to generate pure impact force. However, the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique, ranked 24th among the Dharmakayas, possessed a terrifying strength beyond expectations. When the two palms collided, the power that swept from the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique directly shattered the stone giant's entire arm along with the upper half of its body into fragments. Swish! After smashing most of the stone giant's body into pieces, the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique directly pierced through the falling rock fragments. At this moment, Hei Lu's expression turned to one of furious shock, but Lin Dong, standing tens of thousands of feet away, merely smiled faintly as he watched Hei Lu rush toward him. Upon seeing the calm smile on Lin Dong's face, Hei Lu sensed something was wrong. He quickly turned to look behind him, and what he saw made his pupils contract. A voice filled with horror escaped his lips. How is this possible? Hei Lu saw the place where the stone giant had previously been shattered by his attack. Countless rock fragments seemed to have been drawn together by some force, and they were formed into a stone giant identical to the original. When Hei Lu saw this, the giant stone giant's enormous palm descended again. Its speed was so fast that Hei Lu couldn't react in time. Boom! Before Hei Lu, or the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique, could react, the stone giant's massive palm pressed them both to the ground. Then, a suppressive force from the fundamental laws of heaven and earth descended upon the suppressed Hei Lu and the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique. Under this force, the enraged Hei Lu could no longer move. No matter how hard he tried to summon the power of the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique, he couldn't break free from the suppression of this heavenly power. Hiss! When Hei Lu was effortlessly suppressed by Lin Dong, even without making a move, a sharp intake of breath echoed throughout the world as all those present, including Hei Ming and the elders, looked at Lin Dong in disbelief. No matter what, Hei Lu, the Grand Elder, was a genuine Earth Supreme expert. Though not yet an Upper Earth Supreme, he had surpassed 100 years in the Lower Earth Supreme realm. Combined with the 10,000 Destruction Mystic Physique, which was a Supreme Dharmakaya of a high level, it was almost impossible for anyone below the Upper Earth Supreme to rival him. Yet, even so, he was easily suppressed by Lin Dong. Elsewhere, on the edge of the square, Ling Qingzhu and Qing Tan had also witnessed the brief clash between Lin Dong and Hei Lu. The result had already been anticipated by them, as ever since Lin Dong began cultivating the sacred drum Heavenly Sovereign's sacred drum techniques, his strength could no longer be gauged by surface appearances, even though the technique was incomplete. This guy is no ordinary Upper Earth Supreme. Elder Hei Xuanzi looked at Lin Dong and said, the power he used to reforge the stone giant doesn't seem like it came from the forces of heaven and earth. Just as Elder He Xuanzi's words fell, the Grand Elder standing before Hei Ming revealed a shocking piece of information that caused all the elders and Hei Ming to shudder. He's a battle formation master. The power he used just now was the power of battle intent. Battle formation master? Hei Ming exclaimed in surprise, then turned to ask, but even if he's a battle formation master, it seems he didn't come with an army. How could he use battle intent? Haha, the Great Thousand Worlds are full of surprises. Among the battle formation masters, there exists a pinnacle level known as the Heavenly Battle Formation Master. This level of battle formation master leads an army that is no longer composed of individual people who are hard to move in large numbers. Instead, they command the forces of heaven and earth, using all things in the world as their army. The battle intent they generate is far more powerful than any army composed of humans, spirit beasts, or divine beasts, the Grand Elder explained. I once heard that in the land of 10,000 tombs in the Great Thousand Worlds, there was a battle formation master-led alliance. The leader of this alliance, known as the Immortal Lord of the Land of 10,000 Tombs, was a super battle formation master who commanded the entire world as his army. He could turn all those who had perished in the past into his soldiers. The Grand Elder is the only one in the clan who frequently goes out. These matters are best understood by you, Senior, Hei Ming said. Everyone, step aside, the Grand Elder said to Hei Ming and the others. In the next instant, his figure flickered as he rushed towards the suppressed Hei Lu. Upon seeing that the Grand Elder was preparing to take action himself, Hei Ming and the others exchanged glances and then stepped back. Meanwhile, on the square, Lin Dong was looking ahead. However, what he was focused on was not the Hei Lu who was trapped beneath the stone statue giant, but the air in front of it. Buzz. In that space, an elderly figure appeared. The Grand Elder, stroking his white beard, looked at Lin Dong from across the way. A voice then emanated from his mouth. Young man, earlier I was not present. My juniors did not treat you with the proper hospitality. I hope you can understand. Hearing the Grand Elder, Lin Dong smiled slightly. Senior, as you just said, you are the one with the most authority in the Black Spirit Clan? Authority? The Grand Elder chuckled. I have lived for 10,000 years. These matters were long passed on to my juniors. The world belongs to them now. With a faint smile, he continued, but I know you have a purpose in coming to the Black Spirit Clan. Why don't you tell me what it is? Upon hearing this, Lin Dong smiled again. A resonant voice echoed through the heavens and earth.